Shundi arrived under the banyan tree, mentally invoked Sri Ram, and began his story. One day, when the four princes of Ayodhya were about 16 years old, the well-known Rishi Vishwamitra arrived at Raja Dashrath's court. His visit was to change the whole course of events. Rishi Vishwamitra had heard of Bhagwan having taken avatar, and he was keen to behold Sri Ram with his own eyes. There was a second reason too for his visit. The Rishi lived in an ashram called Siddhashram, located in the forest in the region of modern-day Bihar. In the vicinity of his ashram lived two very daunting asuras named Marich and Subahu. Both were friends of Ravan, the king of Lanka, and both were a constant source of trouble. Each time the rishis and munis in the ashram tried to perform a yajna, that is, a special ritual conducted before a sacred fire, the asuras would come and throw dirt into it and defile it. So Rishi Vishwamitra resolved to go to Ayodhya and speak to the king about the difficulties he faced and seek help to protect the yajna. There was also a third and very important reason why Rishi Vishwamitra wanted Sri Ram in particular to destroy the troublesome asuras. The Rishi himself had tremendous power, and he was quite capable of cursing and even killing the asuras himself. He even had various weapons and missiles at hand, which he later placed at the disposal of Sri Ram. But Rishi Vishwamitra understood that any jiva, that is, any embodied being, who died as a result of a curse from a rishi, would have to go to Narak, the netherworld. The same jiva, however, if killed by Bhagwan, would attain liberation. Thus the rishi believed that the death of the asuras at the hands of Bhagwan would ensure their ultimate well-being. That shows the greatness of our rishis. They wished the welfare of even those who troubled them. In fact, the name Vishwamitra signifies friend of the whole universe. Raja Dashrath received the rishi with all due honor and reverence and invited him to sit upon the royal throne. An exquisite meal comprising of several dishes was offered to the esteemed guest. Rishi Vishwamitra was known to be hot-headed, and everyone remained a little wary of him. Once the king saw that the rishi was well disposed, he sent for his sons. All the four princes were handsome, but when the rishi set eyes on Sri Ram, he was transfixed. He simply could not take his eyes off the prince. The king waited for a few minutes and then asked the rishi the reason for his visit. Rishi Vishwamitra came straight to the point. He asked for Ram and Lakshman to be sent with him to the forest to destroy the asuras who obstructed any yajna from being completed. Raja Dashrath was horrified because he was extremely attached to Ram. He tried to offer the rishi all kinds of other assistance, emphasizing that Ram was still very young and inexperienced. The king was simply not willing to part with Ram. So Rishi Vishwamitra turned to Guru Vasishtha and urged him to explain to the king that Bhagwan's avatar was to help everyone and that the king should not refuse. Guru Vasishtha then reminded the king how he had prayed for one son but had been granted four. These sons had been the prasad of a yajna, and it was precisely to protect such yajnas that the rishi was now asking for only two of the four princes, and that too just for a short while. The Guru further explained that although Ram appeared a youth, he was in fact Bhagwan personified. Therefore, the Rakshasas would never be able to harm him. And finally, Guru Vashisht emphasized to his king that Bhagwan had taken avatar to serve everyone. Therefore, if the king sent his sons with Rishi Vishwamitra, it would be in the interest of everyone. Raja Dashrath finally agreed to let Ram and Lakshman go. The two young princes set off on foot with Rishi Vishwamitra. During the journey, they passed through many places, and the Rishi told them about the history and traditions of each region. He pointed out the various species of birds in the forest and the many animals they encountered along the way. All this was important because as a future ruler, Sri Ram needed to know the history and culture of the different regions of his kingdom. And to serve effectively, he also needed to know about the condition of all beings in his land, including that of birds and animals. Then a Maina in the audience had a question. Why did the yajna of the rishis need protection? She asked. The yajna, explained Kakbhushundi, must be protected because it is the symbol of dharma. And dharma is the noble and divine way of life for human beings. It is dharma that ensures material progress as well as spiritual unfoldment, not only for the individual, but for the whole society. In other words, dharma ensures the well-being of every living creature, including us birds. Therefore, it is the king's duty to protect dharma, and it is precisely to re-establish dharma that Bhagwan takes avatar age after age. And don't forget that the four princes were the prasad of a yajna. Prasad means the blessings of the deity invoked in the course of the yajna. Kakbhushundi paused for a moment and then said, what we also learn from this episode is that even the most eminent of human beings, such as Raja Dashrath, face dilemmas and need good advice. That is why a guru is so necessary. The birds in the audience nodded approvingly. Had Garuda not got deluded and come here to gain clarity by listening to this story from their own Guru Kakbhushundi? And Garuda was, after all, the king of birds. It was now growing dark, and Kakbhushundi concluded the story session for the day. The birds bowed down to him with great devotion and then flew off for the night with a song in their hearts.